In today's video, I'm going to share with you my second CGC graded book that I have picked up. Let's go. What's up guys, my name is John and you're watching Old Stuff is Cool. So glad to have you tune in to today's video. Last week I talked about how we recently came back from Hawaii and really the last days of summer are rolling down. My wife's getting ready for school, my kids are getting ready for school, but we're trying to take every opportunity we can get to just enjoy the beautiful weather and, you know, a more free schedule to enjoy each other's company. I'm also happy to report that as far as jet lag goes, this was probably my best recovery period for any trip I've taken. So very thankful for that. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's video, I did want to share one other quick pickup, and that was over at Zenith Comics in Malden, Massachusetts. I was here after a really fun lunch date with my wife. Again, making use of maybe more lax schedules and more free time, and what better way to spend it than with my loving spouse on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. So we went to go try a new Vietnamese banh mi place that, or new to us rather, had a great time doing that. And then went to Malden Center where Zenith Comics was on the way to the Chinese bakery. In case you couldn't tell, food is probably my other big interest, food, cooking, and whatnot. So if I haven't talked a lot about it before, you can probably expect me to talk about it more because it's probably my other favorite topic to talk about besides comic books. But anyway, at Zenith Comics, I had a nice chat with the folks in there, and I always take a look at their wall books. There's not a huge amount of them. However, there are always collections coming in, and I feel like they have a nice selection at decent prices. And I walked away with this book right here, Daredevil, issue number 54, featuring the first appearance of Mr. Fear 2. And, you know, I love me some Silver Age Daredevil. Hadn't picked up any in a while, so this one was priced at $15. It's probably, I would say, like a mid-grade copy, a little bit lower than mid-grade perhaps. Maybe in that 5.0 to 6.0 range. Anyway, it was priced at $15, and I've always liked this cover. It was on my wish list of Silver Age Daredevil books to pick up, so it was a nice little bonus to my lunch date with my wife. So I'm very happy to add that to the collection. So just a small and simple pickup from Zenith Comics. If you guys are in the area and looking for new comics, especially, I think they're a great store, nice and cozy. And whenever I pop there on a random weekend, a lot of community stuff going on, whether it be like Magic players, Pokemon players, even I think people were playing Beyblade, the one with this kind of spinning tops. It's not a game that I see a lot. I am only like vaguely aware of that like toy, anime, whatever, but people are having a good time there, and I gotta plug my local stores. But on to the main event. We've got my second book from CGC coming in, so I'll talk a little bit about my hunt for this comic in particular, but gotta reveal it first. So I have already inspected the package, so there's not a whole unboxing to do. Also, I haven't done too many CGC, reveals, so we'll see. You can still see first a 7.5, and oh yeah, it is Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 238, and this is the first appearance of Hobgoblin. I'm also trying to gauge, like, how bad the glare is. Yeah, I don't know. So if there are more of these in the future, hopefully we can figure out the situation. I think part of it will be I'll just overlay footage. But yeah, really excited to add ASM 238. It's a direct market edition. It does have the tattoos, and that's where maybe we'll break down a little bit about why did I go for a graded version of this book. So first up, I forget if I've mentioned, but I've been on the hunt for this book, keeping an eye out. When I went to the Old School Comic Show, I definitely looked at a few versions. I looked at, I think, one that had a partially detached cover, but otherwise clean looking, no tattoo version, and then also have been doing a bunch of eBay research. And a lot of the prices, raw, with and without the tattoos, I came to realize we're not that far off in price of the CGC version. And similar to when I talked about picking up, Marvel Spotlight 28, that first solo Moon Knight story, when the condition is close and it's only a little bit more money, within like $50 or so, between ungraded and graded, it's almost foolish not to go the graded version, especially when you're buying like online and there's shipping involved and whatnot. So this search started out with looking for a mid-grade, raw, tattoo-less version of ASM 238. And after doing some price comparisons, and I will say the research of CGC books is so much easier, because just to do comps and to do market research, I know, there are the problems with grading and whatnot, especially when you're the one submitting the books. But on the consumer end, when you're shopping for an already graded book, I will say it gives me a little more confidence and takes some of the guesswork out on what the heck exactly is the condition of a book. Along with finding comps for what I wanted, I can also compare, like, oh, what's a 5.0, what's a 6.0, all the way up to 9.8. I don't think I will ever really get to that 9.8 category unless, financial things change. But in this case, it seemed like, between a 7 and 8 was perfectly fine for the price range I was looking at. And so the last piece of the puzzle really was just checking what's out there. And sure enough, eBay had a listing for this, this very 7.5 copy. The shipping was essentially the price of a non-slab book. Sometimes with like priority mail and whatnot, in the US, you can expect maybe upwards of like $20 on shipping, because that's like a medium flat rate box, the rectangular size one. Being able to save a little bit on the shipping also helps with calculating the total price. And I'm glad to say that I had no issues. I think everything was very firm, very securely packed. And with shipping, I paid $230 for this book, which I think is kind of right in that ballpark of fair market value. It was what I was comfortable putting down. Again, not looking for a 9.8 copy of this guy, but as followers of the channel know, I've been collecting a lot of ASM first appearances and key issues, so I'm just continuing that trend here. I think Hobgoblin is a great character. He's not just derivative of Green Goblin. The fact that in his debut storyline, it's a mystery who is behind that mask. And couple that with like all the crazy politics and all the background kind of editorial writer drama that happened, who the character finally was and who was supposed to be. It's a lot to look into that adds further intrigue to the story and to this character. So yeah, very happy to share with you this phenomenal book, my second CGC slab. Let me know, what do you guys think of the Hobgoblin down below? What do you think about this CGC journey? Am I, considering all the factors to do CGC? Maybe there's something, some cons I've left out. I'd also love to hear from you, to learn from your experience. But we're gonna keep it short and sweet today. That'll do it for the video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Take care.